Yeah, and that's how my 3D printer became sentient and stole my identity. So you got to watch out for those guys there, those 3D printers. Oh, hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to RC with Adam. My name is Adam, and guess what we're here for? We are back for another Q&A troubleshooting session help you time, live on YouTube and Instagram as well. Everybody over on Instagram, hello. I will try to monitor both chats. What this is oh, there's nobody on the Instagram side. Okay, that's cool. Quiet day. That's fine. Today's Friday. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. What we like to do here at RCwithAdam Industries is just take some time every day, almost every day of the week, and just try to be available to help you. Maybe you're going through something. Maybe something's not working like it's supposed to. Maybe you want to get into RC and drones and 3D printing, but you don't even know where to start. Now's a great time to ask your questions and get real help from a real person real fast in real time. That's what we do here at this Q&A session here at RC with Adam Industries. Welcome, everybody. I see we've got some folks in the YouTube chat. We've got Olive. He says, "Bro, how are you? I'm pretty tired today, to be honest with you. I'm doing great, but I'm pretty tired. I don't know if it's this crazy weather front we've got going on, or if I'm starting to like come down with a cold or something. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Or maybe I've just been using my brain too much this week. I'm not sure. We've got Surendar Chandru. Sorry if I butcher your names, but hey, I sent you an email. Check your email. In fact, I sent both of you guys emails. Check your emails talking about the giveaway that we just had. I'm getting that worked out. Olive says, "Adam, I got the email from you." Okay, cool. So you got the email, and so we don't need to like talk about all like those details in the chat, but we'll just do that through email, and that way we don't kind of like clutter things up and all that stuff. Yeah. So yes. So in the chats though, welcome and ask you any questions that you have about drones, 3D printing, stuff like that. Yesterday we were talking with Tom. He was in the YouTube chat, and we were talking a little bit about drone business type stuff. You know, as far as making money with drones and all those aspects, interesting aspects that that you don't think about perhaps at first when it comes to using your drone to make money and stuff like that. So, and which is one of the other things that I do as well. So I know a little bit about that. And yeah, guys, any questions, any stuff about the giveaway, just go ahead and email me. Okay. Cause I don't want to have to like be using my brain in that capacity. And then not think something through and then answer and then forget and stuff like that. So I like to have it kind of all in one place. So, so if you have questions about that or you want to talk about that, go ahead and reply to my emails, and we'll go through it that way. And I appreciate your patience. This is taking me a little while. I mean, not that long, right? It's a totally free giveaway that you guys are getting, and so it's going to take me a little time. You know what I'm saying? To get the packages out and stuff, especially with dealing with international shipping and stuff. It was a little bit worse than I thought, but anyway, it's been a good learning curve, learning experience for all of us, I would say. So I know. So yesterday we were talking about a lot of things. Yesterday we talk about a lot of stuff. You guys should really, anybody who's just joining, we have a lot of fun here, I would say, and we talk about a lot of different things, and I mean a lot of different things within drones and 3D printing. That's pretty much the focus here. But yesterday we were doing some simulator stuff. We had Flying Butter in the chat. He's going to jump in at some point, I'm sure. And we were doing Uncrashed, and FPV simulators are just fantastic. So much worth your money to be able to get an FPV simulator on your computer, or an RC airplane simulator as well. So I thought, why don't we continue with that this Friday? And let's jump over. Boom, there we go. Yeah, so this is Uncrashed. Right now, this is this is my favorite FPV simulator, Uncrashed. To me, just the physics of it feels really nice. It seems to run well on my computer. And you have a wide range of drone options and all that stuff. So I thought maybe we'll just go through we'll just fly on the sim. And if you guys have questions, I'll answer those in between little flight sessions here. And we can go through, it's going to go through basically like maybe some of the basics of flying drones or any questions that you guys have. You know, I wouldn't call myself like an expert, like, what would you say? Like the most expert drone pilot? Like I'm not like an FPV racer pilot kind of guy. In that sense, because I do so many different things. I can't really like dedicate myself to reach that like pinnacle peak top 1% performance. So but I do what I can, and I'll show you what I can. And I'll show you, I'll help you through the basics. I'm sure I can help you through the basics there. Let me find what I was going to do here. So let me actually switch. Here we go. So bringing up my YouTube channel here. I have a playlist. It is a few years old now. It's called Learn to Fly, FPV Drone Flight Training.
Hey everybody, welcome back to
And whoa, that's crazy. That guy is bald. I used to be bald. So I have this. Yeah, there we go. Take me to the playlist. So this whole playlist here is like 20 videos. This is a great great place to start if you really want to, start learning in kind of a sequential manner. Most of the lessons are pretty short. Some of them are a little bit longer, but so I thought, why don't we go? We could go through kind of some of the basic concept. Well, maybe we'll skip the basic concepts, kind of, but talk about basic movement, dynamic movement. Maybe the rates and expo, throttle, disarmament, and just kind of go through that like real fast. That was just a little idea that I had. And then you move into rolls and flips, obstacle avoidance, dynamic rolls and flips, split S, orbit, power loop, Matty flip, smoothment, how and why to fly smoothly, things like that. Sharp 180-degree turns, forward 360 twist. I think that's what I call like a rollover, I want to say. No, that's a forward 360 roll. I'm not sure, but anyway, those are fun to go over. So I thought let's kind of incorporate that into our time here. So yeah, so everybody on Instagram as well, welcome. Let's do some flight training. Oh, also I thought, let's just give this a try. Let me try. I don't know how many other people play Uncrashed, but let's do custom session. Yeah, so I think this will be a multiplayer session that anybody who's watching the stream right now can join. So let's do we want to do Rallycross? Rallycross is pretty cool. Let's go to Horizon. That seems like a neat place to fly. Horizon, we don't want rain. We want sunshine. Let's do a free race. I'm not sure what a free race is, but let's do a free race. Let's do I don't really know what this is, but through Oasis, I guess. Maximum players, 8, everyone. Oh no, let's make it a password. The password will be live stream. No capitals, live stream. Just so that way, it's only people who are like watching the live stream, I guess. So password is going to be live stream. The session is called Session of RCwithAdam. Create session. Let's give this a try. I've never done this before, but the other day, or was it last week or something, we did a multiplayer on Liftoff. And so we'll just see how that goes. And I am using, oh man, I hope it actually connected. Oh man. Ugh. So I'm going to be using my Radio Master Pocket radio here. But unfortunately, it won't connect. Like, you have to, like, quit the game to make it work. Right? Do you? Let's see. if you plug it in after you already start the game, then it won't pop up. Let's go to controls. No radio detected. I mean, it's here, dude. It's detected. Let's give it a try again. There we go. Joystick. Yeah, that is unfortunate. All right. Okay, I'm gonna have to get out of this. Stand by. I gotta. I thought I had it set up. All right, I gotta quit that. I'm gonna quit it. I've got my transmitter connected now. I'm gonna connect it. Press the joystick button. Now I'm gonna go. We'll get back in here. We'll get this set up. So in the chat, what are you guys up to? Has anybody done any 3D printing or drone flying, building? Anything cool going on? Let me know. Let us know. So let's create another session. Does that keep creating sessions? No, okay. Create session. Yeah, sure. So again, password is live stream. Let's try that. There we go. And I think, yeah, that should be showing up pretty well. All right, and yes. All right, it's working. Waiting for players. Okay. I'm doing a free race. I'm not exactly sure what that means. I just want to do freestyle, honestly, but I thought, well, we could have the option to race if we want to. Let's see. I gotta hold this just right. Let's see, is any sound coming through? Yeah, there's a little bit of sound coming through for me. Oh, I hit it. It says some crazy buildings. That would be, oh, wait, what? Why are we doing, what's happening? Oh, this was a free race. Okay, let's try this then, all right. Oh, okay, yep, nope, I died. I died instantly. Man, racing, yeah, no, not really my thing. Let's change this to freestyle if it's gonna make me keep doing that. Because we don't really want that. I want to abandon the race. Yes, abandon the race. All right, cool. So let's do map. All right, so with liftoff, or sorry, with uncrashed, we have like a lot of just huge levels. Huge levels. Okay, I'm not sure why it's changing places. All right, let me leave this session. I think free race means you like race at a place and then go to another place or something. So we'll check that. Let's see. Olive says, bro, why are you not looking at the chat? I am looking at the chat. But there's nothing. I don't think I missed any questions. So, yeah. There you go. Let's try this again. All right, let's do that. Create session. The meadow. Let's go to like, I think we went to the factory yesterday. The sanatorium. We went to the park. What is that Riviera unit? Looks interesting. Let's just do free flight. There we go. Again, let's just, for funsies, make the password live stream. Let's see what happens there. Yeah, let's give it a try. All right. All right, and today we're using the Radio Master Pocket radio. This is one of my favorite radios. A really great compact radio. It feels really good in my hands. Wow, we must have a lot of up tilt because we're going really fast. Oh, right into the corner. So last time, yesterday it was, I was trying to do these trippy spins and I was like really failing at them. So can I do them today? No, not, well, kind of. Whoa, kind of, a little bit. So a trippy spin is like, kind of like when you, it's like you're orbiting something, but you're like reverse orbiting it. And it's very tricky because you have to manage the throttle and basically just keep a sight picture of the tree. So that tree is what I'm trying to keep in the middle, and I'm trying to go around it, but I'm not doing a great job of it. It helps to have a high up tilt with that. Olive says, Adam... Any giveaway stuff, just email me, and then I can get back with you via email. That way it's all in one place, and it'll be easier for me to reference it and remember it and everything. And I'm not going to check the email until I get off of the live stream here today. So yesterday we were talking about, or we were flying, and I had turned on the battery simulation as well as the FPV video video feed simulation, and it makes a big difference. So it's not very like fun. It doesn't really make the simulator more fun because you know you're limited basically in your range and everything, but that is more like real life in that you're limited in your battery power and you're limited in your video distance, and you have to think about what is in between you know, your goggles that are receiving the video and your drone. You know, are you flying into a building? Are you flying behind trees? Are you flying, is somebody, you know, standing right in front of you and it's blocking the signal? So those are all really important things to think about. So that kind of gives it to more, brings it more of the training aspect, more of the actual, like real world simulator aspect, as opposed to like knowing how to fly the drone and flying it like for fun, because it is super fun, but you know, being able to basically manage those limitations. Oof. All right, this place is cool, but it's not like super cool. Actually, maybe there are other spots. Park that? No, not really. Let's change the map. Can we change the map? Do I have to leave the session? I guess we have to leave the session, but I don't think there's going to be anybody joining us in this session right now. So you kind of change it. Modify session. There we go. Oh, okay, yeah. We want to go to Stadium, Rallycross. Let's go to Rallycross. Let's go back there. I like that one. Actually, wait a minute. Stadium. Oh, FMX. I don't remember seeing that. That looks interesting. Let's get in there. So, for anybody watching, it looks like we just got a couple people jump on. Fantastic. So, for anybody watching, welcome. My name is Adam. This is RC with Adam. This is a Q&A session time. Right now, we're just doing some flying and stuff on Uncrashed. That's primarily what we're doing. But if you have questions, need some troubleshooting help or beginner questions and stuff, I will stop what I am doing and I will help you. Otherwise, we're just going to kind of hang out and have a good time on this FPV simulator. This is one of my favorite ones. so far. Oh my gosh, I almost crashed into him. It's funny because he looks like he's on like a scooter. Woo! So I have actually gotten the opportunity to chase some gosh, what would you call it? I guess motocross. I guess motocross. You know, dirt bike racers. That was cool. It's tricky. It's very tricky. It's very tricky to chase. I cannot speak today, guys. It's very tricky to chase an object like a person on a motorcycle. Any moving object, really. But, you know, when they're slowing down and they're turning and they're doing all this stuff, it's tricky. Clearly, in this situation, the money shot is going to be them, you know, going on this jump. And that's really what what you'd be capturing in this sort of scenario. Primarily, you'd be getting those really super cool close-up shots of them going on the jump. And then, you know, and so the kind of the value in that would pretty much be like a few seconds, or, you know, you film it in slow-mo, slow it down, you get, you know, 10-second clips or whatever that are just like super cool. And then you go and you buzz the audience and they're like, oh my gosh, we're all gonna die, and you're like, oh, and all that stuff. That's the thing about drones, especially now, is that they're super fun and they're super cool, but not everybody thinks that they're super fun and super cool and super friendly. So that's why it's very important to be very mindful and I would say sensitive to the context in which you are flying. And then I crash into him, and then his bike explodes or something. We've got Lannister. We got a question on YouTube. Pardon me, my voice, I think, is going away now. Lannister says 3D printing question: is the Elegoo Centauri Carbon the best printer for 300 euros or $350? Ah. Wow. Okay. That's a good question. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not sure, but we can totally take a look at it. So we're going to jump out of here. So sorry, everybody who came for the FPV flying, but the other important thing that we do is to help you guys and answer your questions. Michael Hollingsworth says, is that a free app? No, this is uncrashed. This is... it's on Steam. It's not free. I think it's around $20. I think, but it's my favorite FPV simulator. Let's go over to, oh boy, what are we doing? Desktop camera. Let's slide that guy out of the way. There we go. And let's take a look. You know, because we had, maybe you're the same person. I don't think so. We had somebody mention the Elegoo Centauri. Okay, I need to like make this go like all the way, like go away. Getting so distracted here. The Elegoo Centauri Carbon. Let's take a look at that because that's the second time I've heard about it. So I feel like I should probably. It'd be helpful to know a little bit about this. We also have some words from Occipital Exposure 5059 on YouTube. Says, I've wanted to get into 3D printing for a couple of years, but the endless 3D printer / software options are overwhelming. Do you have one or two mid-tier options you would confidently recommend? What a great question, Occipital. I think that's how you pronounce your name. Yes, so just to answer that question really quickly, pretty much like my go-to is the Bamboo Lab A1, and I say that like so just as you pointed out, there are many different like options. Like there's several companies, they all have competing options, which are like pretty much seemingly the same. But I have a Bamboo Lab A1. It has been very good, very reliable. It There are certain things that maybe are just like personal preference things about it that I would rather that it wasn't a bed slinger style in terms of where the bed moves, but like that's what it is. So you can't really fault it like for that. So I haven't really the only thing that I've had wrong with the A1 is that the nozzle has come loose. And I have a video about that. And basically just after many hours, suddenly the print started getting bad and then the nozzle was loose. So all I had to do was tighten the screws that held like the nozzle like assembly basically to the tool head. So that would be my pretty much. If you don't want to think about it and you're like just get it, like I would go with the Bamboo Lab A1. And then if you're like super like price sensitive and you're like I need to get in for as little money as possible, the Bamboo Lab A1 Mini. But I don't typically recommend that because if you're pretty sure you want to print quite a bit or print larger items, then you're going to grow out of the Mini quite quickly. It has 180 cubic millimeter build area, whereas the A1 has 256 millimeter. So that's a big difference there. So back to the and then I just throw this in not to confuse you, but Creality, their kind of competition to the A1 is the Sparks i7. I guess it's kind of their like lowest grade like multi-filament capable because they have a multi-filament printing like system. So I haven't looked into this a ton, so I can't really say yay or nay on that. It is like it's like the same. It's slightly cheaper than the Bamboo Lab. But anyway, back to the Elegoo though. Let's see what the deal is with the Elegoo. Okay, so Lannister says Lannister, I think that's how it is. Yeah, Lannister says from a bunch of research, I can't find anything better. Competitors, the Creality K1, and even something like the Bamboo Lab P1S, but higher prices. Let's see. Michael Hollingsworth says, "Cool. Wanted to say, hey, got to get back to work. All right, cool. Thanks for stopping by, Michael." Lannister says, not a fan of Bamboo Lab since the controversy, honestly. Occipital says, appreciate your response, brother. Yeah, you're welcome. So, Lannister, which controversy? What controversy are you referring to? Because I'm not sure if I'm aware of that. If there was like some sort of ongoing controversy with Bamboo Lab. Bamboo Lab. So Bamboo Lab. So I have to kind of like disclaim this every time that. So they sent me the X1 Carbon a couple of years back. They're really just out of the blue. They were like, "Hey, do you want to try out this new printer that we have? We'll send it to you, and you just like let us know what you think." And I was like, "Well, yeah, of course I do." And the X1 Carbon, it's still my main workhorse. It's a fantastic printer. So they sent that to me for free. But there's never any like thing where it's like, hey, you have to make a video about it or you have to tell people to buy it. So, and then I bought the A1 because I wanted to expand my printing volume to be able to print more. And I went with the A1 because I can use the Bamboo Studio, and it's like the cheapest way to get another Bamboo Lab, like another full-size Bamboo Lab printer. So I kind of don't, but there are some things about the Bamboo Lab that I don't like, and that are frustrating as far as like the workflow and stuff. So I think I need to figure out something better and possibly move away from Bamboo Lab, because the other thing I do is I do 3D prints like as a business. It's called Fun Fidgets. Fun Fidgets, so fun. And so we do a lot of 3D printing for that. and it is super fun. And it's great. Anyway, what I'm getting at here is that Bamboo Lab, they're kind of like the Apple of 3D printing, I consider it. So they're like very user friendly, plug and play. They're kind of like, hey, don't think about it, just like, push these buttons and it'll go. But I kind of don't like that because I would like to have more control over certain aspects of it. I mean, even just simple things of like being able to control the speed of the printer instead of just like 50% or like 200%. And able to control other aspects. So anyway, I'm kind of geeking out here, but let me see. Let me read the chat here. All right, so Lannister says the whole firmware update about 8 months ago, locking people out of certain slicers or at least making it way harder to use. Says just Google about it later, you'll see a lot. It's a shame because honestly, they are actually very good printers. I just don't want to support a company like that now. Yeah, I will look at that. Maybe we'll look at that maybe right now. But first I want to look at this. So this is the Elegoo. I usually know that this is a very distracting product page. Come on, Elegoo. It's like it's a movie trailer. I know Elegoo mostly as being like a resin printer manufacturer. I mean, everything here looks very similar, to like the X1 Carbon, which they don't actually make anymore. They don't make the X1 Carbon. They make the I think the P2S is kind of to replace the X1 Carbon. So carbon fiber printing. So for anybody who doesn't know, the reason why carbon fiber printing is a big deal or why they put carbon in the name is because when you're printing with carbon fiber and other specialty filaments, you want to have like a heated chamber, an enclosed chamber. So the printer is like, it's printing inside of a box basically. And that way it keeps the heat in, keeps the temperature even. And then also the nozzle and I suppose the extruder the extruder motors, motor gears and stuff like that are going to be hardened metal so that they won't wear down from the carbon fibers because it'll wear down on normal gears, brass nozzles and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay. So, like so many 3D printers now, it seems like they're all the same. It seems like they all have the same features. They all are the same size. They can all print as fast. So it can be so hard to tell which one to go with. But it's kind of in the details. And like we were talking about with Lannister here, about which company you want to support is kind of how that works. What are they showing here? What is this? Is this the manufacturing process? What are they? Huh. That's interesting. Hmm. Okay. Active vibration compensation. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Over the air firmware upgrades. Dual band Wi-Fi connectivity. Okay. The holders on the right side of the printer, that is definitely good. Yep, it's all very, very, very similar. Built-in air filter. So, let's say we want to buy it now. Drone Shots 8247 says hi. No, sorry, they say LOL. LOL. Welcome, Drone Shots. Also, everybody on Instagram, welcome. I'm sorry, Usually there's not a whole lot of action over on Instagram, so they tend to get overlooked. But welcome everybody for joining in. Again, we're doing a Q&A session right now. So if you are interested in drones and 3D printing, or maybe you are already into it and you need some help with stuff, now's a good time to ask those questions. See if we can get you some help. Right now we're talking about the Elegoo Centauri Carbon. Holy smoke. Wait, what? 279 USD. Why is that so cheap? Why is that? What are they trying to pull here? Cuz that's crazy. Is that right? Is that what you said, Lannister? What did you say? You said Lannister said 3D printing question, is the Elegoo Centauri Carbon the best 3D printer for 300 euros or $350? Well, right now it looks like it used to be $413, and now it's $279. How is this possible? Wait, what? What's the build area? 256. Holy smokes. I guess it's a brass hardened steel nozzle. That doesn't make any sense. Maybe it's both, I guess. Whoa. Huh. That is actually that's actually very intriguing to me. For 279. Lannister says also comes with dual side build plate. If you want, it can run completely offline. I believe that's the same that is also the same with Bamboo Lab. But yeah, the Bamboo Lab thing, I really hate their whole setup process. I hate how you have to have a phone with the Bamboo Handy app to like scan it, and then you like log it in and you like put it to your account. Like I don't like it. I don't like it. I like the connectivity for being able to send prints to the printer. That's huge. That's a game changer. But I don't like this whole thing about where it's like you have to have an account and register it and then put your like register your printer to that account and all that stuff. There's a lot of questions about privacy and technology stuff there. So anyway, yeah. So I feel like Bamboo Lab feels like the I usually say they're like the Apple of 3D printers, but maybe they're like the DJI. They're like the DJI of 3D printers. Actually, that is like what they are, because DJI made like drones like for the masses, and then Bamboo Lab made 3D printing, like really made a huge step in making it like very user friendly for the masses. So that is kind of what they are. And I really want to get away from DJI as well. Anyway, Lannister says always ignore their original prices. Every 3D printing company does that. It's lies. Yeah, yeah. It's like, well, we thought about charging $413, but we're actually going to charge $279. But in any case, regardless, forget about the original number. $279. That's a great deal. So everybody, right now, from what I can see, that is a super deal for this printer. Because you're getting the enclosure, you're getting the ability for the, what do they call it, the Core XY, where the bed just moves up and down. The bed moves on the Z axis instead of the Y axis, which is huge, big difference. Occipital says, "Are you changing up your recommendation regarding the Bamboo A1? LOL, 279 seems like a steal, almost too good to be true." I agree. It seems almost too good to be true. Lannister says enclosure alone is big over the A1. Yeah. So let's talk about enclosures for a second. Oh, so occipital. I mean, based on what I'm seeing here, yes, I would recommend this Elegoo Centauri Carbon over the A1. But keep in mind that I have not looked at any in-depth reviews of this printer. I haven't used it before. I'm just going off of what we're talking about right now. And but I mean, it looks like it checks all the boxes. The only question I have about it is, does Elegoo do multi spool or multi filament? Do they have a multi filament changing system? Whatever, like the Bamboo Lab AMS. That's what I wonder about that. I'm not sure. And let's see here. And Olive says, "Bro, what are you doing?" I don't understand why you asked those questions, Olive. To be honest with you, I'm not sure. Maybe it's a translation thing, and I'm not getting it. Because it seems very clear what I am doing right now. So maybe it's like a saying or something like that. I'm not sure. Lannister says, "Not with this, no. But when they release the 2, they say it will have it in the future for this first one. They say it will have it in the future for this first one." Right, so it'd be like backwards compatible. Oh man, sorry, I gotta get some water. Oh my goodness, my throat is going. My voice is going. All right. So I want to address that. I want to talk more about that because this is very interesting. And I also have thoughts about enclosed printers, but I need to grab a cough drop. So pardon me 1 second. I'll be right back, guys. Just hang on 1 second. Okay, I'm back. All right, that's better. So we're talking about the Elegoo Centauri Carbon. We're talking about whether it's a good deal or not. The price is fantastic for what you're getting as far as an enclosed printer with the Core XY design and all the all the features. And so let's see here. Lannister says, but honestly, like 95% of people don't use multi-spool. I know I won't, to be honest. I'll just paint it whatever I want. So for me personally, like, so I use multi-spool a lot. I have the AMS system on the X1 Carbon, and I use it a ton. And that's one of the most annoying things about the A1 for me is that it doesn't have that multi-filament capability. And sometimes it's a problem as far as like printing the object. Like I want to be able to, or a lot of times what I'll do is I'll print multiple objects on the build plate, and I'll print one, or print them in different colors. I don't do much multi-filament printing like per layer, like within one object, because it's super wasteful and takes way too much time. But I do use the multi-filament printing, and it's also just super convenient. And instead of having to change spools of filament, but I'm a little different because I do that like as part of a business, and not everybody is going to be printing as much or needing to print in different colors. So, and yes, I get by with the A1. You just have to use it strategically, basically. Uh, but if you are printing with a like a TPU, or perhaps with a brittle type of filament like the carbon fiber, you're not going to want to use it in an AMS system anyway. Or at least especially the TPU, especially squishy filaments and stuff. Oh yeah, so we were talking about the enclosure. So an enclosure can be really helpful and is oftentimes necessary if you're printing with certain filaments that need to be printed at higher temperatures or have a tendency to warp off the print bed, like nylons, or in this case, they're sort of advertising it for carbon fiber. So that can be good. However, sometimes if you're printing with lower temperature filaments, it can actually cause the chamber and everything inside of it to get too hot, and then you can end up with a heat creep situation where you basically the filament gets smushy. It gets flexible and kind of melted before it actually gets to the nozzle, and then when it cools, it can end up clogging, and then so you get clogs that way. And your chamber fan, is going to have to be running like all the time, a lot, so it's really loud, or it's loud enough to be like annoying, like you wouldn't want it right next to you. And in my case, how I've had it a lot of times, my printers end up being right next to me or very close to me in kind of a small office space. So that's something to consider. But I mean, to be honest, looks like you could just pull the panels off the sides if that was actually, an issue, and make it not an enclosed printer. So bottom line, overall, it is a plus, yeah, to have an enclosure for that price, for sure. That's very good. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Yes, if right now, I will say, if it was if I said, okay, I need to get another 3D printer, it does not need to have multi-filament, like, AMS capabilities. Would I want to get this Centauri Carbon for $279, or the Bamboo Lab A1 or just the A1 for $299? I would go with the Centauri. I would go with the Elegoo Centauri Carbon, because it's cheaper and it has that Core XY, where the bed just moves up and down. It's honestly, this, I hate to like say that something is a clone of something, because everybody clones everybody else. So to say that like Elegoo is cloning the X1, it makes it kind of like, yeah, it makes it sound less legitimate. But maybe the X1 was a clone of something else or something older, or a clone, quote unquote. So that's what I'm saying about that. Occipital says, maybe a stupid question. Well, those are always the best ones. But is the Centauri chamber heated? Are non-heated enclosures even a thing? Doesn't look like it's actively heated from the product page. That's a good question. So a lot of times that is a selling point that manufacturers will say, like, it's an actively heated chamber. I guess that would just mean that there's a heater somewhere, like in the chamber, just to heat the chamber. But in my experience, you don't need that. Like, I mean, maybe for certain materials call for that specifically. Let's just go to the specs page. Because if you're printing, if your heat bed is like at 60, 70, 80 degrees Celsius, that's going to make a lot of heat, and that's going to really heat that bed. But anyway, thermal, max heated bed temperature, ambient temperature, nozzle temperature. Yeah, I feel like they would have that temperature if the chamber was heated, but I wouldn't be too concerned about the chamber not being actively heated. I don't think it has active chamber heating. Yeah, it does not appear to. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, it's got a camera. That's good. Die cast. Interesting. Yeah, wow, that's pretty neat. Lannister says not a thing, occipital. Mainly the heat bed. The bed heat warms the enclosure. Just preheat the bed to like 60 to 100 degrees and wait 10 minutes, then turn off the bed and start the print to take it to the correct temps. Heated enclosures are a resin printer thing mainly. And he says, got it, thanks. Lannister says, I will say the internal light on this Centauri carbon is beyond terrible. Get a light for it. Yeah, same with the X1. The X1's really awful as well. I've been meaning to upgrade the light on that one. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I have seen it advertised as like a heated chamber. And I'm not sure why that would be a thing for resin printers. Because if the resin printers, I mean, I'm assuming we're talking about like the LCD resin printers, like using UV light. But in any case, yeah, it's not a thing to be. I wouldn't be concerned about it. I mean, like, unless you're printing like in a super cold environment, like outside, or something, or like, yeah, no, it shouldn't be a problem. And that's also why a lot of times it can be useful if you have a normal 3D printer without an enclosure. You can buy a even just like a plastic enclosure. I mean, I guess you could just build one out of cardboard, right? But that could be, very flamey. It could catch on fire. So preferably you build one out of something that won't catch on fire. That's the idea. Yeah, good questions though. Lannister says resin has to be kept at constant temperature. Too cool causes a lot of issues, and it's an LED mono screen that does the curing, so not a lot of heat at all. Okay, huh? Interesting. I did not know that about resin resin 3D printers. Of course, that's yeah. That's so weird that I haven't heard about that. Huh. I've seen a lot of different videos about people doing resin 3D printing, but I have not gotten into it myself. It just seems kind of messy. Seems like a very specific use case. I don't necessarily need that much detail or that much of a like specialty type of 3D printing in that area. Uh, hmm. Yes, indeed, indeed. Yeah. The other day we were talking about multi filament or multi nozzle slash multi tool head printers, and one of these multi tool head printers is the Wondermaker ZR Ultra. I'm not super loving it though, the design of it. Mainly because of this right here. It has all the spools on one side and they're like stacked on top of each other. So you'd have to like constantly be like swapping like the back spool, swapping out the front spool to get to the back spool and stuff. So I'm not super crazy about that. But what I do like the look of is this guy, the Snapmaker U1. This looks very intriguing to me because of needing to print with multiple colors and multiple filament types. Lannister says the resin gets too thick in the pan, basically, and when the panel comes down for it, if it's too thick, it can cause globbing and other issues. Says resin printing is like models and minis with super high definition at about 0.05 millimeter layers. Yeah. Also, if you want to see another printer, check out the Snapmaker U1. LOL, right as I said it, you went to it. Ha! Yeah. Yeah. The Snapmaker U1, because I kind of like went down this kind of rabbit hole sort of thing of like multi nozzle printers, and um because Bamboo Lab, they're coming out with their H series, their H2C has the Vortec nozzle, multi-nozzle system. And then I was looking at the Atom Form Palette 300 with like 12 nozzles. But then I got to thinking, I'm like, what the heck am I going to do with 12 nozzles? Because I was thinking like, okay, the idea is you don't have to like purge the filament out of the nozzle, so that you have a clean color for the next filament. So the idea is you'd have multiple nozzles and you wouldn't have to purge that. But then I'm like, well, you still have to retract all the filament, and you have to switch nozzles. And that's not great. And then you definitely can't print with TPU. You couldn't do multi-material with like a very flexible TPU squishy material. So there's some different options like the index system from, or Bondtech makes the index system, but it's being used on the Prusa printer. And it almost looks like I got rid of the page. It almost looks like the one for the ZR Ultra. But I like the Snapmaker because aside from the fact that there is not an enclosure for the filament spools, unless they're going to incorporate an enclosure, maybe they will. That kind of looks like where an enclosure would go. Oh, fascinating. Those look like holes. Oh, I wonder if there's like holes. See, that was my idea. I should have said this before this came out. But aside from the fact that there are not enclosures on the side, I really like that you can get to each spool separately. It looks like you'll be able to print with TPU. Yeah, it looks great. And it's under $1,000. Well under $1,000, which is pretty cool. Lannister says this is something that would be great for you with multicolor printing, almost no waste and fast. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I've said, I was mentioning the other day, I need to have like a picture that I can pull up. But basically, if you try to do multicolor printing, or I think it was yesterday or no, the day before, whatever, we did, I was showing the difference of painting in the Bamboo Studio app, the slicer, and how when you're trying to print multiple layers with multiple colors, you produce so much waste that it will be at least 2 to 3 times more filament used that you're just purging. 2 to 3 times more filament purged than what actually goes into the model. And it takes a model that you could print if it was like printed in separate pieces or by itself. It would take like maybe a couple hours. It'll take like 10 hours. So it's crazy, super crazy, and especially from a business perspective, makes zero sense. And even not from a business perspective, like it makes your printer's stuck all day printing one thing, and then you're wasting a lot of filament. So yeah. So for now, I'm kind of set on this. This looks very interesting. Yeah, I need to look up some reviews, I guess, on this. I think it's out, right? Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah. So anyway, we'll take a look at that. But well, guys, we're getting towards the 1 hour mark. Actually, we're over the 1 hour mark, but so we're getting to where we're gonna wrap it up. But if anybody else has any questions, please let me know now. Lannister says, I'm gonna get the Centauri Carbon. Just wanted another perspective. I'm gonna head out. Have a nice weekend, dude. You as well. Thanks for stopping by. That was a good chat we had about the Centauri Carbon. And I mean, that's yeah, that's a good that looks like a lot of bang for the buck, so to speak. So that may be one of my latest recommended printers, actually. Huh. Yeah, interesting. Okay, I think that's gonna do it. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Appreciate you. Yeah, I better stop before my voice totally gives out. Everybody over on Instagram, thanks for hanging out. Instagram is a quiet bunch. Not a lot of questions on that side. But that was good. I love doing this, because we learn something new every time, and or I relearn old stuff, which is also very good as well. So, all right, that's gonna do it from me over here at RC with Adam Studios. Take care, everybody. Apparently, we have some kind of like winter apocalypse, snowstorm, ice storm coming up. So, be prepared. Okay, make sure you do all your stuff you need to do before the storm hits, in case the power goes out, and all that stuff. Be a good neighbor. Take care of yourself, and I will see you again very soon. Bye bye.